having a phenomenal week. I will make this quick, clean, and easy, right? Pre-market plan going into tomorrow. And then I'll break down the trade that I took today on QQQ. So kind of a slow week here. Today was the first day that SPY was really on my close watch list just because we've been consolidating here in between 569, I'm sorry, 769 and 760.30, which means it has been in the middle of my no trade zone. So there has been no setups for me on SPY. And today we ended up breaking, right? Beautiful, the range, but terrible price action really across the board today. So I was one and done today. I took a nice trade on Qs. The contracts moved like crap, so I was just one and done. And seems like that was a good thing because at least for me, right, just how I trade, break and retest, the price action was just not good all around. You can see buyers did get over 769 and hold it, but that first hour of market open really wasn't clean. And even when we did get above 769 here, it was pretty much just a slow grind. We trade options, right? So that's definitely nothing you would want to be in, especially with zero DTEs. So what is the game plan going into tomorrow? Well, I'm going to be looking for a pullback long off of 769 or a break and retest here over 775. You can see here there's definitely sellers sitting in this general area. There's no such thing as coincidence. That's like on the dot around the 772.50, and then seller step in and push that thing down. So this was a range. As we can see, I'll be looking for a pullback long off of 769. Why? Today was the breakout. Tomorrow would be the retest. That is the break and retest on the daily time frame. And then, of course, I would love a break and retest over 775. You got a clear shot towards all-time highs. We're still very bullish here on the SPY. SPY's just been fairly slow. You know, we had this period of doing nothing. We had a nice shot here. Once we broke 775 range, we broke under 769. We sat here for pretty much a solid trading week. And then today we finally got that breakout. So still bullish, but just hasn't really been the best. So I'm looking for a pullback long, 769, break and retest, 775. If we fall under 769 tomorrow, no trade for me. I'm not looking to short under that, back into this madness. It will still be an inside bar day. I want to trade with the higher time frame on this. I don't have to take every single trade. So long, 769, or break and retest over 775. QQQ. So another name where, right, just been very patient, right? What has Q's been doing? Just sitting in this range. Just sitting in a range. Today you got the very nice breakout. You can see here, right? History likes to repeat itself. There is definitely some selling pressure, or sellers, I should say, sitting in that general area. So what am I looking for tomorrow here on Q's? Break and retest over 724, or I am open to a break and retest under 716. We are still in a range on the weekly. You guys got to understand that. So that being said, there is a gap, right? That is a gap here on Q's. So I like the objective here. Pretty neutral. So it's going to be longs over 724, right? Price is likely to continue higher. You'll be breaking this range. You'll be over the previous day high. That looks really good if that sets up. Don't forget, we also have this gap here as well. So that looks really, really solid. If you are looking to take a trade over the PDH, be very careful, right? Be very, very careful. You are going long into a key resistance area level on the higher time frame. So long 724, break and retest if we want to stay heavy. Going into tomorrow's session, I'm definitely open to shorts under 716 just because we are sitting in an area where we have pretty much two objectives here, right? It's either a gap fill to the upside or a gap fill to the downside. So that looks pretty solid on Qs. Like I said, guys, if you feel like things have been slow, you got to zoom out. You got to understand the conditions we are in. This is what we're doing on the Qs. We are ranging on the weekly time frame. We are sitting in a channel. We are consolidating, right? Yeah, we may be bullish on the higher time frame, but look at the weekly time frame, right? We don't have this beautiful price action like we did to the left. So you have to understand the conditions. That's very important. So the trade that I took today here on Qs was playing, right, plan your trade, trade your plan. So I had a sniper of an entry, pretty much 2 to 3 minutes into market open. I took my shot here, which was a range break. It was the pullback long off of 716, and caught a very nice entry. The contracts did not move well at all. I ended up getting an 80-cent move on the underlying. Like I said, I'm being conservative. I'm playing next day expiration, not zero DTEs. And you can see here, this was pretty much a great sell just because we did not hold, we didn't get that continuation, the contracts did not move. And I scaled up on this, right? I tried to go in with roughly 20,000, but I ended up going in with roughly 15,000. This was an A plus trade for me. It was a range break. We were over the previous day high, looking for continuation higher. I got an 80-cent move on the underline, and when I saw those contracts didn't move, I pretty much just cut the trade, right? We trade options, so those things are very important to pay attention to. And you can see we ended up having a little bit of a peak and fell, and my thesis was correct, and this has kind of been the story. But like I just showed you on the weekly time frame, you have to understand the conditions. If you're a breakout trader, take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm talking to us break and retest traders. We know our system thrives in trend in markets. Excuse me. So we're not trending right now. We're not getting that beautiful continuation to the upside day after day. We're in a range on the weekly. I just showed you that. So I was one and done. It's very important in these conditions to be one and done, be a risk manager, and rightfully so. So that was my trade today. Right, pullback long off of what was it? Yeah, 716. Nice trade. Analysis was spot on. Just no follow through on that. So, nevertheless, what am I looking for tomorrow here on QQQ? Well, I'm sorry, I already broke down Qs. I just gave you my trade recap. My apologies. So yeah, like I said, long over 724 for the gap fill to the upside. You're also over the previous day high, and then short under 716. IWM. So IWM, man, this is such a key level. This is such a key level. This is beautiful. Wicks do the damage, body tells the story, and as I always say, guys, there's no coincidences in the market. History likes to repeat itself. News invalidates technical analysis. This is 6 days in a row. We have really reacted off of 299.85, 6 days in a row, and we have just been sitting here in this very tight range. So I haven't taken any trades here on IWM. Your no trade zones save you a ton of money. What am I looking for tomorrow? Break and retest over 295.85 if we do stay heavy, right? I can obviously look for a short under 297, but this is going to be the key line in the sand. Can we get this breakout? A lot of built up liquidity here. We do have a gap here as well. There's a lot of gaps in the market. So I will be watching IWM. This will also be one of my top watches going into tomorrow. Pretty nice to see here. I mean, you can't make this up. Look at this. So this happened on the 21st of this month. Once we broke 299.85, we got to push up into 333. Today, we got to push up into 332. No coincidences there. So such a key level, right? For us to just push up, right? Break our key level, get a push up into 332, just like we did a couple of days ago on the dot, and our body of the candle still closes right at 299.85. That gets me intrigued. So I will be watching this on IWM going into tomorrow. And guess what happens if we stay under 299.85? No trade zone, right? We're in a range. Avoid that bad setup. So actually, this is still a resistance, so I'm going to turn that to red. Cool. That's going to be your key line in the sand tomorrow, 299.85. Tesla, right? So if you watched the live trading session yesterday on Tesla, I broke this down very thoroughly. And Tesla, and this is why I love it, right? It just makes it very simple. Just trade off your levels. Tesla has been flirting every single day with 349. It's holding this channel very, very strong as well. But yesterday, right, I took a break and retest under 349. It was support, support, support. Once was resistance. Yesterday, we turned it into resistance, as you can see. And today, you got a break and retest above 349. But terrible price action. I'm not taking that. So, as I always say, you got to know the difference between skipping a trade and missing a trade. You can get your setup, but if the price action's trash and things like that, you got to be able to read the market environment there. This is not anything I would want to be a part of here on Tesla. But you can see buyers got above 349, you got a pullback, and they've defended this pretty much the majority of the day, all the way up into 355. So solid there, just not the cleanest price action. Tesla, I really don't like how it's looking. So as for me tomorrow, just because the previous day high is here and the PDL is here, I don't really care to take a trade off of 349 anymore, just based on where the daily candle closed today. You can look for your trade over the PDH going into tomorrow. It's definitely a little bit of reactions here going on. So that's something to be mindful of. As for me personally, I don't have a trading plan tomorrow for Tesla. Nothing that I see here that I like. So I am hands off. But I will say this channel is being respected very, very nicely. So let's just see what we do. Maybe here, right? Maybe got a little bull flag setting up here. So maybe you can look for that continuation above the PDH. Like I said, me personally, I'm hands off tomorrow on Tesla. Palantir, beautiful. If you caught this, like I said, I gave you this at the start of the week. You avoided the no trade zone. Today, you broke the range. You got a break and retest over 183. Not the cleanest price action, I will say, but hey, break and retest 183. That set up beautifully. So kudos to you if you were able to catch that. So now, I mean, this thing's not too far away from making new highs on the year. I mean, hell of a recovery here on Palantir. We did get a bit of a news catalyst, push here to help us to the upside, but no complaints there. Already a V-shaped recovery on the year here. It went from consolidating, doing nothing, to now, can we get a clear shot towards all-time highs at 207? Based on what I'm looking at, there's really nothing in its way. So that's something to be mindful of here on Palantir. So today, you got the breakout, right? Let's get rid of that. You got the breakout here over 183. So what would you be looking for? You should know this. A pullback long off of 183. Pullback long, 183. Right? Why? We're turning this channel into support. Be patient though. Read the price action. Depending on how you trade, keep in mind tomorrow is Friday, so you would be messing around with zero DTEs. You can always play next day expiration. I'm sorry, next week's expiration here, but you won't know until you know. Either you're going to get a pullback long and we hold, a buyer step up and defend 183, or it could just be a peak and fail. You won't know until you know. So 183 is going to be the key line in the sand here on Palantir. You want to see that break and retest, well, pullback long here off of that. If you caught that today, kudos to you. That was right off the pre-market plan this week on Monday. So very, very simple there. Hood. Hood. So Hood. Let's go here. I'll go here on the 15-minute. Very simple here on Hood. Very, very simple. I'm sure you can see what I can see. Solid reactions. Solid reaction, right? Reaction. That was a beautiful setup. Reaction, reaction. 3 days in a row. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Clear as daylight, right? So Hood is very simple going into tomorrow. Break and retest under 109. Break and retest over 112. If you sit in between here, that is the no trade zone there on Hood. Very simple. Apple, still nothing here, just being patient. Been ranging about 17 points. Solid trade in month. Apple has been stuck in this range, so there's no trade for me here on Apple. Keep an eye out though, right? Apple can rip sometimes. So 317, we're creeping. I will watch 317 here. If it sets up tomorrow, be patient, let it come to you. Nvidia, I did not touch Nvidia today. I'm sure everyone and their mom was looking at Nvidia. Like I said, terrible price action, at least for me. So nothing there for me on Nvidia. Now, let's go here on the daily, right? Daily looks really, really good here. Like I said, no such thing as a coincidence. This is beautiful. Look how strong 228 is, right? We had 3 days in a row. We pushed up into 228. We cannot get above it. Today, we push up into 230.50. I'm just going to round that to 230.50. And then the body of our candle closes once again right under 228. That is beautiful. So what would I look for tomorrow? Less is more. So based off the reactions, I'm going to get rid of that, right? Very simple there. Break and retest over 228. Clear shot towards all-time highs. That's your A+ shot on Nvidia tomorrow. Long over 228. I will be watching this as well. Beautiful. I will watch that. If we reject that and we stay under that, I'm hands off here on Nvidia. Look at that. That looks really, really clean here. Ernest did his job. You got to push all the way back up into the top of the range. So break and retest 228. You got a clear shot towards all-time highs. Amazon did his job today. So the game plan on Amazon, like I said, this was all start of the week. Amazon was doing nothing all week. It was literally ranging. As you can see here, clear as daylight, ranging, so there was no setup there on Amazon. Unless, right, we were looking for the break and retest under 258. Maybe you got that today if you were able to catch that. I don't know. But for me, I mean, look at the price action. Like I said, just that's nothing you want to be a part of, especially when you're trading options, guys. So now that already set up, less is more. You know what I'm looking at now? Get rid of that. Boom, beautiful, clear as daylight. So the only thing I like now on Amazon, break and retest under 256. Why? I mean, this is a big gap fill play. This is all a gap fill. That's all a gap fill to the downside. You can see now we're just ranging in here. Terrible. So I would look for longs over 264, shorts under 256. I love, love, love this setup. It's an objective play to the downside. You got a gap fill play. You'll be getting a break and retest on a weekly level. That's very important. Wish to the damage. You can see body tells the story. We closed right above 256 today. That is your A+ shot tomorrow on Amazon. If you can get that short opportunity here, that looks good. You can see ever since we made all-time highs, we have been in a downtrend here. Been in a very nice downtrend. So 256 key line in the sand tomorrow on Amazon. Of course, if we hold that and we stand between 264 and 256, that's your no trade zone. There's no trade there. Google, just trash. Just trash. There's nothing. Maybe it's just me, guys. I don't know if you guys like take trades in these like with this type of price action. I don't know, but this is terrible. You don't want to be a part of that. For Google, I really don't like it just on the weekly time frame. To be completely honest, I don't like it. So to each your own. I would look for a long if you really want to. I would look for a long over 338.15. The only reason I would look for that if you really want to trade Google is just because you're holding the bottom of this range. So maybe, right, we had a little bit of a peak and fell. What do we do when we fell a key level and reclaim it? We fuel that move to the upside. So you can see clear as daylight, 338.15 is a key level. There's no doubt about that. Very strong level here. So if you can get long at the bottom of this range, right, that's a good risk to reward play. Just be cautious of the price action. SpaceX, really nothing here. Nothing's changed. You can see just a name that has been consolidating. Like I said, guys, your no trade zones, I promise you, they save you a lot of money. They save you a ton of money. Less is more. You can see SpaceX has just really been ranging in between 145 and 130. So for me, just how I trade, there's really nothing here. I would just keep an eye out here over this 145. If you go here on the 1 minute, this is what happens when you're in a range. This is the price action you get. So I'm sure you're noticing the pattern across the board. So really nothing there on SpaceX for me until or if we break this range. Microsoft, this was beautiful. Break and retest on the daily time frame. Yesterday, you got your breakout displacement candle outside of the range, right? Be patient. Let your trade come to you. I gave you this at the start of the week. Breakout yesterday, retest today. Let's go on the 1 minute. Look at that. Dip and rip on the dot off of 490. Yesterday, beautiful breakout. You never got your retest on the intraday. Today, you got the pullback long off of 490. That is the break and retest. Beautiful. So tomorrow, you're looking for a long over 506. Beautiful setup there. You got a clear shot. I mean, look at that. Let me go on the daily. I found a key level here, 506. Beautiful. 4 to 5 reactions. 4 reactions here. Very solid. At least 3. The more the merrier. So break and retest over 506. Solid shot there on Microsoft. If you don't get above that, at least for me, pretty much hands off. We had a big day here. A big day. You got to push from 490 up into 506. So if we chop tomorrow a little bit, I really wouldn't be surprised. But this thing, there's nothing in this way now. So I would look for a long here over 506 on Microsoft if that sets up. You're also over the previous day high. That's a great confluence. AMD, nothing going on here. Stuck in a range. Nothing going on AMD. Stuck in a channel. Go on the 1 minute. That's the price action you get when you trade in a range. There's no surprise there. So be patient if you really want to trade this name. Wait for the 500 break or wait for the 457 break to the downside. And then I was watching this today just because I had earnings as well. So pretty solid move here, not gonna lie, on CRWD. But other than that, that is the game plan going into tomorrow. Hope this helps. I will see you guys on the next one.